Hello chess lovers, Student here, and in this video I want to share with you a very interesting game played at the online chess event Legends of Chess. Legends of Chess 2020 is the fourth tournament of the Magnus Carlsen Chess Tour, which includes 6 players from the previous generation. Together with the top 4 finishers in the Chessable Masters, Vladimir Kramnik, Vishwanathan Anand, Vassily Ivanchuk, Boris Gelfand, Peter Leko and Peter Svidler are also present to cross swords. The game which right now I want to share with you was played between Ukrainian chess grandmaster Vassily Ivanchuk and Hungarian chess grandmaster Peter Leko. This game is from round 4 and the time control is 15 minutes plus 10 seconds increments. In this game Ivanchuk had white pieces and he opened up with e4. Leko responded with e5, and there we have it, the razor sharp king's gambit is on the board. In the romantic era of chess, this was probably the main opening, but nowadays players are choosing this as a surprise weapon. It takes f4, king's gambit accepted is on the board, knight f3, h6. Leko is going for backwards defense, and black's idea is to set up a massive pawn structure on the king side and save this f-pawn. d4, g5, g3. Understanding that in future handling this pawn structure can be very difficult, Ivanchuk is undermining it, trying to break it into pieces as soon as possible, but is doing it at the cost of sacrificing a pawn. Bishop g7, knight c3, d6, bishop e3, knight f6, queen d2, white is preparing castling queenside, knight g4, bishop g1. Of course, immediate castling queenside is also playable, but Ivanchuk decided to save that bishop, and we see castling queenside only after bishop g1. In return, Leko castled kingside. Opposite side castlings are on the board, and taking into consideration the fact that this is king's gambit, the h-pawn is open for the rook. White has great attacking chances. Knight h2. White is getting rid of this knight, which is like hindering white's attack. Rook takes h2, bishop g4, rook e1, knight e7, bishop g2, queen d7, bishop e3, knight g6, rook h1. White pieces occupied very aggressive attacking squares. c6, and there we have it. On move 18 we see the first heavy blow. Rook takes h6. How do you like this move, guys? By going for an exchange sacrifice, white is making black's kingside vulnerable. King g7, and the pawn on g5 also drops. The solid looking kingside pawn structure shattered, and now let's see how is white going to proceed with the attack. At this point we have an equality on the board, and now let's see what's going to happen on the board. We see the exchange of rooks on h6, king h7, bishop f1, bishop h3, bishop e2. All the time white is avoiding the exchange of pieces because black is leading in material, and yes, simplifications favor black. King b2, b5, bishop d3. The vulnerability of this diagonal will soon play a very essential role in the game. Queen g4, bishop e3, and b4. Well, at this point hurrying and capturing on g3 is not that good, because white has e5 move. White is not only opening up the light squared bishop's diagonal, but also is freeing the e4 square for the knight. For example, if d takes e5, then knight e4 can follow. And if queen f3, then white has a very beautiful looking bishop g5 move. That's why in our game after bishop e3 we see b4, and only after knight d1 white captured on g3, but in return lost the pawn on b4. Bishop g4. So far so good. We had an equal game, but this bishop g4 is already a mistake and is allowing white to gain advantage. At this point it was very important to move away the king from this dangerous diagonal. King g7 is good, but also rook e7 can be very useful, you know, preventing any possible unpleasant queen intrusions. But instead we see bishop g4, which steps into this e5 move. Now if, for example, d takes e5, then queen g7 check is coming and black is in trouble. Black is losing the knight. As the knight on g6 is pinned, you can't cover the 7th rank. That's why to e5 black answered with f5, but lost the pawn on d6. So this is another sacrifice, right? By going for queen takes d6, this time Ivanchuk is sacrificing the knight on d1. Bishop takes d1, Leko accepted the sacrifice, and we have bishop takes f5. Right now white is a rook down, but who counts? Who counts pieces when you are attacking? Bishop d2, already queen e3 was the threat. Bishop g4, queen e7 check. Rook g7, queen g5. Queen h2, and we have bishop takes g4. So that was a very beautiful resource, right? Queen e7 check followed by queen g5. There we have it, and white is managing to win that bishop. Bishop takes g4, knight e7, queen h5 check. At this point already simplification favors white, because once the queens are exchanged, black has no chance of saving this endgame. Rook g2, bishop b4, knight d5, bishop f3. So at this point, if we take a look at the position, white has a bishop and 3 pawns against the rook, right? Which is more than enough and is allowing white to confidently win the game. Bishop c5, allowing these queenside pawns to step forward. b4, king g6, a4. Meanwhile, black is hurrying to centralize his king, but stopping white pawns is not an easy task. King b3, now at any moment white wants to go for c4. King c6, and there we have it, c4. D takes c4 check, king takes c4. Rook f4, pinning the pawn, not allowing d5, but this time the e pawn is stepping forward. Rook e4, e7, king d7, b7. King c7, bishop d6 check. Another beautiful final below, and this one is actually the last one. White is both offering the pawn and the bishop. King takes d6 can be met with b8 queen, Leko played king takes b7, but resigned once white blocked the e file, and now the e pawn is unstoppable, and we have a resignation. A very impressive King's Gambit game by legendary Ukrainian chess grandmaster, which I hope that you enjoyed greatly. In the end, a chess puzzle for you where the task is to find the winning line for white. It's white to move, and I will wait for your answer in the comment section. Thanks for watching. If you liked the game, feel free to share with your friends as well. I will see you in my next video. Take care.